In Today Roro Tips, we will explore how to start your own export shipping company. With almost 20 years in the export business, we understand that while export logistics is highly competitive, it is also very profitable. Like in any enterprise, building a truly profitable business requires dedication and good knowledge of the business. Today, we will explore the export shipping business, which typically involves outbound shipments from the U.S. to foreign destinations, popularly referred to as Roro shipping or container shipping business. We will explore what it is and how to start your own business shipping Roro or containers overseas. To operate an export shipping business, you need to obtain an Ocean Transportation Intermediaries or OTIs license. OTI license can be for OTI NVOCC license, OTI Ocean Freight Forwarders or OFF license or both, OTI NVOCC and Forwarder license. To explain this briefly, Ocean Freight Forwarders or OFF's licenses allow you to arrange international cargo shipments. This may involve dispatching a shipment or simply booking a space on a vessel that has already been scheduled. Non-Vessel Operating Common Carriers, or NVOCC license, allows you to operate as a carrier that provides ocean transportation but do not operate their own vessels. Transportation is contracted out to a vessel owner, also referred to as VOCC or shipping lines. So why is this business lucrative or relevant in today's economy, and what are the opportunities available? Well, the world is open for business. The U.S. exports some $2 trillion in goods and services to world markets annually, so there is vast opportunity for ocean transportation intermediaries, or OTIs. NVOCCs and freight forwarders act as middlemen between smaller companies and individuals who want reliable shipping at reasonable rates and carriers. The shipping lines who own and operate the shipping vessel, or VOCCs, often do not like dealing with low-volume shippers. For example, should a customer with just a few shipments call a major shipping line for a rate, they could probably get a higher rate than that quoted through an OTI, and in most cases, the shipping line could still require that customer to work with a freight forwarder anyway. Why? Because the shipping lines want to ship, not handle tedious export paperwork. It's not worth their time to deal with low-volume customers, and that's where the NVOCC and freight forwarders come in, to handle the necessary filings, paperwork, and customs clearances. An NVOCC, over and on top of dealing with paperwork, enters volume-based ocean freight arrangements with various shipping lines that run on the desired trade lanes. The NVOCC sets their own tariffs for selling space on these liner services. This allows them to quote to their customers more competitive rates than the shipping line. What is the difference between an NVOCC and a freight forwarder? NVOCCs always arrange ocean transportation. Freight forwarders may arrange ocean, air, or inland transportation up to a specified point in the journey where the importer's or buyer's agent takes control of the movement of goods based on what is agreed upon by the seller and the buyer. NVOCCs are permitted to add a profit percentage onto their rates. Freight forwarders are only allowed to add operational fees. An NVOCC is an intermediary between the shipper and the vessel operator and issues their own bills of lading. A freight forwarder is an authorized agent acting on behalf of the shipper. For an additional fee, the freight forwarder will generate the required documents, file your electronic export information through the Automated Export System, or AES, and provide other services. Freight forwarders are agents to shippers, while NVOCCs are carriers to shippers. Freight forwarders do not operate or own containers, while NVOCCs can manage or hold cargo containers. Freight forwarders may function as an agent of NVOCCs, but NVOCCs work independently and under their own responsibility. The question then begs, which of these licenses will work for you? Should you have one or both licenses? How do you decide what business to go into, NVOCC or a freight forwarder or both? Basically, it comes down to the level of service you want to provide. If you prefer to book passage only strictly on an ocean vessel, having only an NVOCC is sufficient. An NVOCC can perform all the tasks a freight forwarder can and some more. A freight forwarder license, on the other hand, enables you to provide your customer with a one-stop shop to identify the best route for your customer's goods, negotiate the best rate for the shipment, and provide additional services and advice that is usually well worth the additional expense of acquiring the license. Let's look at one example. A customer in the Caribbean buys a 2020 Lexus LS from a dealership in Kentucky. With an NVOCC license, the agent can book the car onto the vessel from the port in Jacksonville, Florida, to whichever Caribbean island the customer resides. It will be up to the customer to figure out a way to move the car from the dealership in Kentucky to the port in Jacksonville. Whereas with NVOCC and forwarder license, the agent can work with an inland trucking company to move the car from Kentucky to Florida onto the vessel to the Caribbean island. Working with a company with both licenses makes a great deal of sense for a customer who's looking to access a full range of services in a single place, a so-called one-stop shop that can be used to virtually eliminate the many hassles involved with trying to organize logistics for transporting items both internationally and domestically. How do you obtain an OTI license? Both ocean freight forwarders and NVOCCs must obtain an Ocean Transportation Intermediary, or OTI license, from the Federal Maritime Commission, or FMC. The requirements for obtaining one are different for freight forwarders and NVOCCs. The FMC regulates ocean freight forwarders and non-vessel operating common carriers, or NVOCCs, collectively referred to as Ocean Transport Intermediaries, or OTIs. How to apply for an FMC OTI license. Step 1. Determine the type of license the company needs depending on your requirements. Step 2. Establish or confirm your corporate identity, sole proprietor, LLC, or corporation. Note, if you're a non-U.S. applicant, you must first establish a presence in the U.S. to be eligible for applying for an OTI license. Step 3. Appoint a qualifying individual, or QI, with at least 3 years of verifiable OTI experience. The experience must be gained by working for an FMC-licensed company, NVOCC, carrier, or forwarder based in the U.S., and you must have 3 references to verify credibility. Step 4. Fill out the FMC-18 form. Submit and pay the fee, $250 for electronic application and $1,962 for paper application. Step 5. Submit proof of financial responsibility. The FMC will not issue a license without a valid surety bond. The fees vary for different NVOCCs. For OTI NVOCC license equals fees plus $10,000 per branch office. U.S.-based NVOCC's fee is $75,000. Non-U.S.-based NVOCC fees are $75,000. Non-U.S.-based NVOCCs without an OTI fee, $150,000. Step 6. Upon receiving the license, register and publish your NVOCC charges by filing a current Form FMC-1. It is important to note the license needs to be renewed every 3 years. We hope this video was helpful to you. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you're notified when other helpful videos are uploaded. For more information and more detailed information on starting an export business, look below in the description for a link to a complete export business guide. The guide will include what business structure best suits an export business, how to set up an export business, how to source for surety bonds and publication companies, and tips on running a successful export business. We will also show you, now that you have your license, where do you start? How do you get customers? And what industry tools could be useful for your business? So long and goodbye.